Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I'd like to discuss the concerns over the UK's electric vehicle cell producer, Britishvolt, as it seemed close to going into administration, indeed may well still be. And this is actually a big deal, because the long-term future of our entire car manufacturing sector tends to rely upon its success. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So Brexit's meant a big drop in investment in the UK, both foreign and domestic companies. This has been the case ever since the referendum, not just when we left the single market. And there are a couple of main reasons. The first is uncertainty. In the 6 years since the referendum, there has never been a roadmap for Brexit, and there still isn't. The government are unable to publish their blueprint for what post-Brexit Britain, including trade arrangements, regulations, other vital information needed by investors, in order to assess business plans. And second, because we have restricted access to the European market. In fact, because it's harder to export from Britain to the EU than it is the EU to Britain, if you want to sell in both markets, it's almost always better to establish your production in an EU country. In fact, many British companies have done that. So the only investment that Britain is really attracting is that which either only needs to take advantage of the British market, or where Brexit didn't provide a major barrier to exports elsewhere, or where they believed that Brexit wouldn't provide a major barrier. You know, these businesses exist, so it's not like investment just disappeared completely, but it is way lower than the pre-Brexit trajectory. But Brexiteers are desperate to try and deny this. Fortunately for them, most people don't read business articles, so they're not likely to see graphs like this. And whenever there is a major investment in Britain, they shine a spotlight on it in order to go, look, investment, to prove the doubters wrong. Britishvolt is one such investment. A company to build cells for electric vehicles to power our way through the motoring revolution. Built in the northeast, where a lot of car manufacturing jobs were being lost thanks to Brexit. Now, there's talk of it going into administration. If it can't get a loan pretty quickly, it's only got apparently a few weeks of funds left. In fact, a report in The Guardian suggests that they almost went into administration this Monday. So if it can't be saved, this is actually a big problem. And it's a big problem for three reasons. First, it shows the weakness of post-Brexit Britain. Electric vehicles are very much the immediate future of motoring. If we can't be a significant player in the producer of the cells needed to make this a reality, what does that say about our manufacturing potential in general? And I'll remind people again what Professor Patrick Minford said, the economist who has been advising Tory government since the days of Thatcher. He said that Brexit would mean running down the car industry in Britain. He said it would be in the government's interest to do so. No point trying to save it. Basically, the only economist in Britain who was actually in favour of Brexit didn't think the car industry could survive it. Second, it would mean more job losses in a sensitive industry for the Brexit supporting northern industrial towns. The Brexiteers don't really like the fact that more and more people are wanting us to rejoin the EU, and fewer people thinking staying out is a good idea. Job losses in the Brexit heartland's a bit of a problem. And it's not just the 300 jobs lost at the plant if it did go into administration. It's the jobs in the supply chain as well. The cost to several local economies, and that would be devastating at any time. But during a cost of living crisis, as we enter recession, not a great look for the Brexiteers. But the third cause for concern is massive, because with the first two, for all I know, Britishvolt eventually will be saved. In fact, it needs to be. It's so important. And maybe by the time this is published, there'll be an announcement that they've got a last minute reprieve. But the fact that it's on shaky ground, this third reason, thanks to Brexit, we can only enjoy tariff-free trade with the EU if our products meet rules of origin. Now, this is very tricky for the manufacturer of complex products like motor vehicles. A huge part of being able to sell British-produced vehicles to the rest of Europe in the future, with the electric vehicle revolution, hinges on enterprises like this. We need to be able to produce our own electric cells. We need British electric cars to produce with British electric cells. Otherwise, we pretty much forget it. Minford will have been right about something for once in his life. Car manufacturing will go into terminal decline in the country. The only way for British car manufacturers to take advantage of the trade and cooperation agreement with the EU is to build these gigafactories to supply car manufacturers. Without it, we're knackered. And that'll mean a lot more jobs will be at stake than just those resulting from the loss of this single electric cell factory. If the cars can't be sold competitively in the EU, the industry will fail. It's as simple as that. And with it, another chunk of GDP will disappear. It's not like Brexit is sacrificing some industries but benefiting others. Brexit isn't creating any new opportunities for our economy. There is no new source of jobs from Brexit. And this is why the success of Britishvolt is so important, and why, if it does go into administration, it will require a fundamental rethink from the government, and quickly. And frankly, as I say, it's so important, you would think the government may even have to consider buying it out. I cannot believe that they can actually allow this to fail. Unless, of course, they're listening to Minford, who some years ago told ministers that they shouldn't even try to save car manufacturing. Just let it run down. He said, let it run down like we let coal and steel run down. But that's why this is a bigger story than maybe it looks at first sight. This factory represents the future of British car manufacture. If it can't be saved, then the entire industry is at risk. An industry that has already been badly hit, as those who have seen a certain graph recently may know about, although I may discuss that on a bit more in a separate video if there's time, because there's a little bit of nuance to that. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. If you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.